We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. Also get interactive with us. We are live on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana. And our personnel from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, with support from the National Security Secretariat, have conducted a coordinated raid on the offices of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML. The operation, which took place on Tuesday as part of an ongoing investigation into a controversial contract valued over $500 million. These simultaneous raids were carried out at the company's offices in Osu and Tema under the authority of a court-issued search warrant. Sources familiar with the operation told Free Business that the Special Prosecutor's Office is in the advanced stages of its probe and is focusing on retrieving electronic evidence from SML's service. The SML contract is among a number of deals under scrutiny as the OSP investigates suspected financial irregularities linked to former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. The Special Prosecutor recently declared Mr. Ofori-Atta a fugitive from justice, citing his failure to respond to multiple summonses relating to this and other transactions. Well, away from that, let's move to Parliament, as the House proceedings was brought to an abrupt end yesterday when the First Deputy Speaker, Bernard Ahiafo, ordered the Marshal to remove MP4 Efiduase Asokore Dr. Nana Yaw Efriye from the floor of Parliament over a statement on GRNMA strike. There were chaotic scenes as the MP refused to be removed. Well, away from that, the conditions of service demands by the striking nurses will cost the taxpayer some 2 billion cedis in cash yearly in budgetary allocations, as government calls on retired nurses and midwives to temporarily return to service in a bid to mitigate the impact of the ongoing strike by members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. The Finance Ministry says the demands will throw the budget off gear. At a press briefing at the seat of government, both the Ministry of Health and Finance are convinced there is no way the current budget can contain the demands.
Resolution of the impasse. We further express our deep appreciation to practicing nurses who have opted to remain at post to help suffering patients and urge others to show similar fellow feeling and assist our ailing compatriots, even as efforts are made to address their concerns. Government reiterates its commitment to dialogue with the GRMA with a view to resolving this impasse for full nursing services to be restored.
But the reality is that we have over 120,000 nurses, and the implementation of the current condition of service that they are demanding will have serious consequences for the budget. In fact, if we fully implement it, we are going to add in excess of 2 billion cedis to the compensation budget. We have all committed that in our resolve to reset the economy of this country, we must maintain a 1.5% primary balance surplus every year in order to bring our debt levels to sustainable levels. And so it is important for us to manage expenditure. And so we want to appeal to our revered nurses that we are willing to negotiate, to sit with them and the Ministry of Health to agree on a roadmap that will help us incorporate what can be accommodated in the budget.
Well, let's know what you make of this very impasse, and we are active on Facebook. Engage us with your comment, observations and opinions, and we'll surely read them and share them to the rest of the world. In more news this morning, Chairman of the Energy Committee in Parliament, Emmanuel Kwesi-Bedzra, has dismissed accusations by the minority that government misled Ghanaians over the Energy Sector Amendment Act 2025. He insists the newly introduced One Ghana Cedi fuel levy is transparent and a necessary measure to avert energy crisis. Take a listen.
The Energy Sector Amendment Act 2025 has attracted debate in Parliament and among a cross-section of the public. The new law introduces a 1 Ghana Cedi levy on every litre of refined petroleum product, an effort government says will help stabilize the power sector, currently drowning in a $3.1 billion debt.
As of December 2024, the energy sector debt related to power generation stood at $3.1 billion US. Out of this, over 1.7 billion USD is owed to independent power producers. And we are currently running a monthly deficit of 2 billion Ghana cedis in the power sector. This is a reality, not fiction.
Emmanuel Kwesi-Bedzra insisted the new levy will not put extra burden on Ghanaians.
President Mahama has made it clear that he does not want to increase electricity tariff. And we need to cushion Ghanaians by doing things in the best interest of all citizens. Fuel prices have already dropped significantly from over 16 Ghana cedis per litre in 2025 this year to an average of 12 cedis per litre due to the prudent economic management by the JDM government. Even if the 1 Ghana cedi levy fuel remains significantly cheaper than it was earlier this year, let me reiterate that there will not be any increment, I repeat, there will not be any increment in prices of fuel as at the current market price still remains significantly low.
Well, away from energy, let's delve into education. As the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, says it will not shield any invigilator caught in the upcoming BEC exam. Speaking exclusively to our Labour Affairs correspondent, Thomas Tanko Musa, asked the invigilators to be circumspect in their work.
The Basic Education Certificate Exams, BECE, will begin on Wednesday, June 11 across the country. Some 4,000 students are to participate in exams, while more than 1,000 invigilators have been recruited for the exercise. Over the years, some teachers recruited by the West African Examination Council, WAEC, for invigilation have been involved in exam malpractices. In 2024, 16 invigilators were busted for engaging in examination infractions, while in 2023, 2 teachers were arrested. In this year's BECE exams, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, says it will not shield any teacher caught in malpractices. General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Tanko Musa, asked the teachers to be circumspect in their work.
You are there to invigilate, to make sure that the students account for their stewardship. Don't engage yourself in anything more than what you have been asked to do in the examination room. Because if you don't take time and you are also caught, you may not be able to, the consequences might be dire for you. So please, all those WAEC have invited to come and help to invigilate, stay out of trouble.
Another major concern to NAT's General Secretary is the consistent leakages of exam papers. In 2021, 10 out of 20 examination papers were leaked, resulting in cancellation of those papers. Available figures again show that exam malpractices have increased more than 200% for the past 5 years. Ahead of the BCE, Thomas Tanko Musa cautioned WAEC against any leakage.
All the government officials and the police people who will be helping from tomorrow, please, we beg you, let us all as stakeholders work together to ensure that this examination is free from any trouble. We don't want to hear that this one happened here, this thing happened here. No, let us all work together as a team to ensure that our students write the exams in free and fair environment and to the best of their abilities.
Meanwhile, he has asked the BEC candidates to avoid introducing foreign materials into the exams hall.
As you enter into the examination room, don't go into the room with any foreign material. Give out all the materials that are on you. Set yourself well and give any other thing out, all the things out. Go into the examination room with only materials that have been permitted by WAEC.
Well, this is to wishing all prospective candidates the best of luck as they, write this year's BECE. And now, expect a 10 to 15% more in data bundles for existing charges in the coming days. This follows an announcement by the Ministry of Communications of major changes in data bundles by telecommunications companies in Ghana effective July 1, 2025. Judith Brown reports.
According to the Minister of Communications, Samuel Nate George, major telcos will increase data bundle offers by at least 10% in the coming month, cautioning that telecommunications companies who fail to implement these changes will face sanctions.
Airtel Tigo Ghana, AT Ghana. A 10% increase in all data bundles currently offered by the network. Additionally, the 400 Ghana CD bundle, which currently offers 195 gigabytes of data, will now offer 236 gigabytes of data. Ghana Telecommunications Company Limited, Telecel. Also, a 10% increase in all data bundles currently offered by the network. Their 400 Ghana CD bundle, which currently offers 90 gigabytes, will offer 250 gigabytes from 1st of July. Scancom Ghana Limited, MTN. A 15% increase in all data bundles currently offered by the network. And I'm pleased to announce the restoration of the 399 Ghana CD bundle, which currently has been changed to the 350 CD bundle that offers 92.88 gig, will henceforth be reinstated to 214 gig for 399 Ghana cedis. To this end, I have mandated that all operators make critical investments in their networks to improve quality over the next quarter, that is from July to September. Defaulting operators will be sanctioned.
The minister also announced measures currently in place to improve network services across all telcos.
That's why we're offering spectrum to MTN, we're offering spectrum to Telecel, and both companies, as a sign of their commitment to improving quality of service, have agreed to buy the spectrum that we're offering to them. Spectrum is also not very cheap. I must be honest about that. It's pretty expensive, but they are paying for the spectrum. Once we complete the deal by the first week of July, that will give them additional spectrum and bandwidth that they can then use to improve the quality of the network.
The minister intends to address the myriad of complaints by consumers through these measures. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Certainly good news if you ask me. July 1 is just around the corner, and we will be following up and updating subsequently in our bulletins. And now the Ghana Journalists Association, GJA, is demanding swift justice following the recent assault of a journalist during a political protest in Accra. The GJA says such attacks are becoming far too common. At a press conference in Accra, the association also touched on other national concerns, including illegal mining.
A renewed call for justice and accountability, this time following a violent attack on a journalist during a protest outside the Economic and Organized Crime Office in Accra. GJA President Albert Kwabena Jumfor described the attack as an affront to Ghana's democracy and press freedom.
Unfortunately, some element of our society continue to unrepentantly, shamefully, and callously met out unwarranted attacks on journalists in the line of their duty. This egregious act of violence against a journalist in the line of duty is a direct assault on press freedom, democratic principles, and the fundamental right of citizens to be informed.
The GJA also confirmed that it is monitoring the high-profile Ahmed Swali murder trial through its legal team and will continue to advocate for accountability.
We know a suspect has been arrested, but we are yet to hear from the police a full briefing on the state of proceedings in court or investigations. It is our hope that the IGP will work to bring closure to all the pending cases. There are a lot of cases that we expect, a lot of cases that the police must really work on to bring a closure to those cases.
On the issue of illegal mining, the association applauded the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources for renewed efforts in fighting Galamsey, but stressed that more needs to be done.
The GJA therefore calls for intensification of the fight at all fronts and asks for periodic updates on the fight in the media to enable citizens to know what is being done and where the government has reached with the fight. It is important, and we call on the ministry and the government to intensify its updates on the fight against Galamsey.
The GJA is urging all stakeholders, including the media, to remain vigilant in exposing environmental degradation while holding institutions accountable.
And now the Central Regional Police Command has apprehended 2 individuals suspected of attempting to smuggle 250 bags of cocoa beans out of Ghana. The arrests were made during a targeted intelligence-led operation in Elmina on Sunday, June 8, 2025. According to a statement released by the police, the operation was initiated following a tip-off received 2 weeks prior, indicating the existence of a syndicate involved in the smuggling of cocoa beans and illicit drugs from Elmina to neighboring countries. At approximately 11 p.m. on June 8, officers intercepted a Hyundai Mighty truck with a registration number CR726-2025, driven by suspect Andy Kofi. The truck was found to be loaded with 250 bags of cocoa beans. Upon interrogation, Kofi identified Francis Ama as the intended recipient of the cocoa, who was allegedly responsible for transporting the beans by sea to other countries. Ama was subsequently arrested later that same night. The impounded truck is currently secured at the Regional Police Headquarters in Cape Coast, while both suspects remain in custody, assisting with ongoing investigations. Authorities have indicated that efforts are underway to apprehend additional members of the suspected smuggling syndicate. Well, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the morning news here on TV3, the first bulletin of the day. And lawyers for Solomon Asamoah, former CEO of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, GIF, and Professor Christopher Ameyakumfi, its former board chair, have requested the High Court to modify their clients' bail conditions, particularly the requirement to report to investigators. And the 2 face multiple charges, including willfully causing financial loss to the state and intentional dissipation of public funds linked to the failed $2 million Accra SkyTrain project. Lord Edwasari reports.
The former chief executive of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Solomon Asamoah, and the board chair, Professor Ameyakumfi, have both pleaded not guilty and are currently on a 15 million Ghana cedi and 10 million Ghana cedi bail with 2 sureties to be justified respectively. As part of the bail conditions, the former GIIF CEO has been asked to report to the police investigators 3 times a week, while Professor Ameyakumfi is to report once a week. In court on Tuesday, June 10, lawyers for the accused persons prayed the High Court to vary the terms of reporting by their clients. Additionally, the lawyers also pleaded with the court for more time to peruse the disclosures filed by the prosecution after Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai noted that they had filed further disclosures which included the withdrawal of some witness statements. After listening to the parties, Justice Comfort Tasiame then ordered lawyers of the accused persons to formally file the application to vary the bail terms. The case has been adjourned to June 24 for case management conference. Lord Idasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, on that legal note, we end the morning news. For more news updates, you'd want to log on to our website. It's 3news.com. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming to you.
My friends dying. If they see you are in pain, all what they can do to help you is, if it's your hand, they will cut it. If it's your leg, they will cut it. Then they will give you artificial. I'm half human being. All of my teeth, they are all artificials.
If you don't kill them, they'll kill you.